Canelo and Crawford. And if it happens, I'm going with Crawford.
This is Jonathan Agger, Fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Coach DJ here in Las Vegas, strength and conditioning coach. DJ, good to see you again.
Again, bro, for sure. Good to see you. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. It took me a bit of time to recognise you because you're normally at DLX, but we're here at Top Rank Gym. The last time we did an interview, you were in Hasim Rahman's corner for that fight with Jake Paul that never happened.
That's correct.
Just tell us what you've been up to since then and who you've been helping out.
Oh, man, I've been working, staying busy. I've been training Shushu. Yes, correct. We're working. In fact, he should be actually cutting weight now for this fight coming up February the 16th. Been staying busy, man. We rocking and rolling. Also, Sandy Ryan as well, world champion. You know, she's a, man, her work ethic, it's crazy. It's crazy. So we've been very busy as well.
Are the sort of British fighters surprised? I mean, like, surely the training methods out here are a bit different, maybe a bit more intense?
Super intense. You know, again, her work ethic is very, man, she gonna work, man. She works. So nothing but great things to say about Sandy.
So, as I said last time we spoke on camera was about Hasim Rahman. You were pretty confident going into that fight that didn't happen. Do you think it could be more realistic now, like Jake's fighting pro boxers, not influencers or whatever? So do you think that's more realistic?
With Jake Paul fighting real boxers, you're saying?
Yeah, fighting Hasim.
I think it was realistic, you know. Again, from what I hear in regards to Jake Paul, you know, he takes boxing very serious. You know, I've also heard that he can box. You know, this is what I've heard. However, I haven't seen it for myself. But to answer your question, I think that it's very realistic of him to fight a real boxer.
So, you know, when you do your strength and conditioning, how do you sort of you know, do it for, is it different things for different people? How do you work out what to do for each client?
I always assess the person that's in front of me to see their strengths or weaknesses, you know. So once I assess that, I can pretty much go from there to know what needs to be adjusted, you know.
Does it depend on age and things like that? Because obviously you were helping Andre Berto out, who's 40 years old. But when I was watching him train, he was training like he's 25.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Andre Berto has a different spirit, man. You know, man, Berto, he gonna go. He gonna go. And I mean, for him, it's like a never give up spirit. You know, so for him being his age, being a legend of the sport of boxing, it's in his heart. You know what I mean? So if it's in a person's heart, they're gonna fight regardless. And Andre Berto, he's that person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me talk about a few talking points in boxing. Obviously, Teofimo Lopez fighting on Thursday against Jamaine Ortiz. What do you make of that fight?
Teo all day. Teo, that's my guy. So Teofimo for sure. I'm rolling with Teo all day. Yeah, for sure. I believe Teo, it can go the distance, you know, it's possible. However, I'm rolling with Teo.
We've seen Conor Benn, he fought here last weekend and he's been calling out Gervonta Davis, and Gervonta Davis is like, let's do it. What do you think, if you were sort of helping out Gervonta in terms of strength and conditioning, how would it, if he was to go up to 147, how would that work? Like, what would you be working on with him if you were to coach him?
If he was to go up in weight?
Yeah.
With Gervonta, because he's already great, that's one. He has the power, that's two for sure. So again, it'd be more of assessing him in person. However, if I had to just say off the top of my head, because he's moving up in weight, I would just say work on just footwork, explosiveness, you know, speed, you know, so he won't lose his speed as he's going up, you know. However, besides that, Gervonta, he's great, man. He's a natural, you know, so he, I believe his everything would just transform no matter what he do or does.
Well, obviously, delay in the Fury Usyk fight, unfortunately. What was your reaction when you saw that cut for Fury? Were you just like, the fight's got to be cancelled?
You know what? When I saw that, I'm gonna say this to you: anything is possible. You know, I'm gonna leave it right there. We talking about yeah, anything is possible. So when I saw that, it was kind of a shocker, right? But what could I say?
Happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think the fight is going to go? It's May 18th now. Give me a breakdown how you see the fight playing out.
Between those two?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I mean, I like Fury. You know, I think Fury has great footwork to be a big guy. You know, I think a lot of people sleep on his footwork and also his stamina. You know, he has stamina as well from what I saw. You know, so however, Usyk, excellent fighter. You know, so it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a great fight. That's what I believe. Yeah.
When you look at Usyk and you look at who Fury's fought in his career, Wilder, Klitschko, etc., would you say Usyk's his toughest fight, or would you say it was Wilder or Klitschko?
I would say Usyk. My opinion.
Yeah.
His toughest for sure. That's my opinion. Yeah.
And another big fight, Anthony Joshua against Francis Ngannou, just his second fight in Ngannou. Do you think this is going to be different from the Fury fight, or do you think Ngannou can pull this one off? That's
tough. You know, I'm gonna leave that to the judges. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's tough. That's tough. Good question, but that's tough for me to answer.
Did it surprise you? You know, his performance against Fury, and who did you have winning that fight?
Fury. I did. You know, I had Fury. Yeah.
Did Ngannou surprise you? I mean, he came from the UFC, his first fight, and he goes in there and drops Fury.
Yeah, that's why it was so surprising to me, because he came from the UFC. Not saying that those guys, you know, don't know boxing. However, we're talking about Fury here, right? So, again, I like Fury as a fighter, you know, so I thought that Fury was going to win that fight. So it really surprised me that he didn't win, you know, so, yeah.
And just finally, just tell me some of the fights you want to see this year.
Man, that's a good question.
For Canelo?
You know what? I'm gonna say this to you: Canelo and Crawford. And if it happens, I'm going with Crawford.
Wow.
I'm going with Crawford all day.
Just the IQ, the
IQ. Both of those guys are great. First of all, let me say that both of those guys are great. However, I'm just Team Crawford for me, man. You know, and I believe he's the underdog in his fight, right? And I'm always rooting for the underdog, always. Yeah.
Well, Coach DJ, good to catch up with you. Just finally, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was just over there, you were telling one of the guys about sort of your diet and things like that. Tell us a bit about it, because you're on I believe, a no-meat diet and things like that. Tell us how, because you're saying that makes you feel, you know, that improves you, that makes you feel good. Just tell the viewers about that.
Absolutely, and I want to say this: it's not a diet for me; it's a lifestyle. I live by it, right? So I'm a plant-based eater. You know, I don't eat any meat. I'm very strict about what I eat. My body is my temple, right? So if you take care of your body, it'll take care of you. You know, I drink mainly water. You know, and I read a lot to keep my brain active. You know, so again, you know, it's a lifestyle for me. I live by it, and anyone that knows me knows for a fact this is what I do. I eat very well. I'm very strict, and I take care of myself.
Now, that's a discipline in itself, isn't it?
Very much so. You know, you have to be dedicated. Again, it has to be a lifestyle for you, not a diet. A diet would be temporary. You right? Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Right? However, mine is a lifestyle. I live by it. It's every day, all day. No matter what I'm doing, I'm living by it.
And just finally, you've been out around sort of the boxing gyms, you know, over the years. When I was down at DLX, there was a lot of sort of young kids, you know, trying to get involved in boxing and things like that. I mean, what do you think boxing does as a sport for kids? And, you know, do you believe in sort of it helps them get out of trouble and stay on sort of the straight and narrow?
Absolutely. I believe it gives the kids hope. You know, we speaking about like Javante, right? I remember Javante as a kid. You know, I remember seeing Javante as a 7, 8, 9 years old in the gyms. You know, and again, he's from a troubled city. You know, and I will say, as we all can see, it helped him become who he is today. Right? Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So I would say boxing for sure will save an individual life for sure.
Well, Coach DJ, we'll leave that there. Just tell everyone watching where to follow you and yeah, what your plans are for this year.
You can find me at I am Derrick Jackson on all social media platforms. And my plans this year I will say, just stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, follow him,
Yeah.
Derrick Jackson. Appreciate your time, and yeah, we'll definitely do this again for sure.
For sure. It was a pleasure seeing you again too, bro. Always a pleasure to see you.